Hey there, it's time for Real Education with the Dr. Duke Show. And we like to do Real Education on our Instant Classic segment, which is this. And we're talking about all this warped love, all these warped emotions this week. It's a week full of, let's just call this derelict week, because we're talking about all these goofy left-wing ideas, twisted and depraved. But there's still some hope out there, because if we go back to a curriculum that is steeped in Western culture, you will find that there are some things worth studying. We're inside a week away from Valentine's Day, and we decided we're going to take a look at some sonnets, the love poems down through history to honor Valentine's Day. Our sonnet today is Sonnet 130 from the great William Shakespeare himself. Now, as we're considering these sonnets, there are these beautiful 14-line sonnets, and I keep telling my students all the time that, in most creative writing programs across the country right now, when you write poetry, you're writing free verse. You're writing poetry that has no form, no meter necessarily, no organization, no frame. It's like texting in a box, right? It's meaningless. It's much harder to write a serious sonnet that has rules, that has boundaries. All the creative writing work that's going on in creative writing colleges across the country, it's formlessness. It's not really art. It's not poetry. You can't really call it prose. But to have to go back and force yourself to fit the rules and come up with something new, that's a very difficult thing. And Shakespeare was as much a master of it as anybody. In Sonnet 130, Shakespeare is actually taking the sonnet mistress theme and turning it on its ear. All these poets have been writing about the women that they loved with cherry lips and golden hair, blonde girls, right? Skin as white as snow. Shakespeare torpedoes this, like he did everything else, right? We're not going to write those kinds of poems. I'm going to write a sonnet here that turns all of those pretty compliments, we call them conceits in the poem, turns all those pretty conceits on their ear. He goes the other way. He starts, "My mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips are red. If snow be white, why then her breasts are dun. If hairs be wires, black wires grow on her head. I have seen roses damasked red and white, but no such roses see I in her cheeks. And in some perfumes there is more delight than in the breath that from my mistress reeks." Okay, let me see if I got this down. She's not beautiful. She's got wiry black hair. She's no blonde. Her breath stinks. Okay, I love to hear her speak, he says, and yet well I know music hath a far more pleasing sound. I grant I never saw a goddess go. My mistress, when she walks, treads on the ground. Okay, this isn't going anywhere from him. You write 12 lines of all the things your girlfriend's not. All the beautiful things she's not. I don't think this relation's going to work out, but he's Shakespeare, and so take a look at the last two lines. "And yet, by heaven, I think my love is rare, as any she belied with false compare." In other words, he says, my woman may be a woman, a real woman. She's not perfect, and yet I love her more than all these other poets pretending love for these perfect, untouchable women. Kind of a nice trick. If you could get that, you can get your girlfriend to read the first 12 lines, there is a payoff.